Clap your hands, everybody, for Philadelphia 76ers. What a comeback win against the Miami Heat last night in a game that was massive for this ball club and huge as far as the playoff implications go. We're going to talk about that here on the show. We're also going to predict the Eastern Conference standings. Before we do all of that, the playoffs are close, and when they come around, the return of some watch parties here on 76ers Now. How about a run to the NBA Finals so that we could do a bunch of watch parties? You don't want to miss our coverage, videos like this, live shows, free agency coverage, NBA draft coverage. We do it all. Make sure you lock us in. Hit that sub button right now. We begin with what was a big Stones win, a big boy win for the 76ers last night. Dominant first quarter. They looked awesome. How about that lineup, too? Tobias Harris, we'll see you. Go to the bench, right? And then the Heat, they come back. But the final 5-6 minutes of that game, Philadelphia executed very, very well on both ends of the floor. And they went on the road in a playoff atmosphere, a hostile environment, in a gotta-have-it game. And they beat a very playoff-seasoned Miami Heat squad. And a word that comes to mind when you think about that dub last night, a gutsy performance from this team. And hats off to Nick Nurse. Just a tremendous coaching job to go with that starting five of Kyle Lowry, Tyrese Maxey, Kelly Oubre, Nico Batum, Joel Embiid, but also to make adjustments within that game. And to have his team mentally composed, where Maxey goes off, Embiid goes off, Kelly Oubre was terrific down the stretch, and he's played great ball of late. He's been hooping over the last couple of weeks. Kyle Lowry making championship-level plays. The Sixers do not keep it together after getting punched in the jaw by Miami at moments in that third and fourth quarter, and they don't come back to win that game. If Glenn Nurse Rivers is coaching that basketball team. And how about the performance from Tyrese Maxey? Producer Chip tweeted it out last night. Maxey, what a star. And that's why I've said, since he got drafted and since I saw it early on, Maxey is Philadelphia's son. He's Philadelphia's young king. And there was a picture that I tweeted out of Maxey smiling with Joel Embiid, and I quote tweeted it, or I used a quote, and I said, so glad that James Harden isn't here to ruin the fun. If Harden's on this team, they also don't win that game because he tries to be too ball-centric. Some of those possessions die. There was a free-flowing nature to how the Sixers were playing offensively. And it really was a game of runs. They were able to absorb a couple of uppercuts and a couple of jabs, and then they served the final blow late in the game toward Miami. And Maxey, just a huge spot for him. Coming off the hip injury, 41 minutes, looked spry, looked quick, 37 points, a rebound away from his first triple-double of his NBA career. He's doing this against a very well-coached and very good defensive Miami Heat team, 15 of 26 from the floor, 5 of 14 from three. He cooked early in that first, got a little bit cold, and then was just great for the rest of the game. And I love the short mindset, the short memory that he has. Missed a couple of jumpers. That's fine. I'm going to keep chucking because that is my role. And Joel Embiid and the Sixers, they were struggling with that zone at moments in that third and fourth quarter, and you're thinking, man, the zone is going to doom the Sixers yet again. And that's been kind of their downfall at moments in big playoff games when teams go with the zone defense, regardless of what iteration of the zone it is. And last night, it kind of looked like a 1-3-1 zone, and then the Heat would kind of mix and match that a little bit. They double-teamed Joel Embiid. He struggled with some of those double teams, as he's been prone to doing, but all things considered, I get the field goal numbers, 11 to 25, not great. Couple of big three-pointers, though. For him to play 32 minutes after playing 30, after not playing basketball for 2 months, he's trying desperately to get in shape because the Sixers understand there's something special here. And I'm as excited about this Sixers run as I've been about a Sixers team going into the playoffs in a really long time, because I feel finally like this team can do something. And I tweeted this out. If there's a year where the Sixers can reverse the curse, end the curse, and make it to the conference finals and get past the second round for the first time since 2001, it might be this team with this coach. Win percentage this season. How about this? When Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid play together, 79.4%. Best team in the league, 78.9%. When they're on the court together, and we had these conversations throughout the offseason, can Embiid continue to be great? He has. Got injured, but he has. Can Tyrese Maxey take that leap from being a star and a very good player to a superstar? He's been able to do that, and we see the makings of that coming to fruition right before our very eyes. And the Sixers going into this offseason, they're going to have a decision to make with Kelly Oubre Jr. Throughout his entire career, he has been such a hot and cold player. Very up and down, very inconsistent. But there's something to be said for having an athletic wing finally who can defend, who can drive to the rack and throw down a dunk, who can make defensive plays like he did where he stole the basketball and was able to shoulder off Jimmy Butler and throw down that slam, that baseline drive in which he threw down the one-handed flush, couple of big threes. Over the last few weeks, he's been averaging around 20 points per game. He's been so good, and he's a really good fit alongside Embiid, alongside Maxey. And early in the year, right when we started the 2023-2024 campaign, you're saying, Kelly Oubre Jr., awesome. Then he comes back, a little bit cold. You're like, this is who he's been. But I just like the fit with the star players on this team. Chip, best win of the season. Those are some of my instant reaction takeaways from that victory last night. Sixers came to play, back and forth game, had the feeling of a playoff atmosphere and playoff game. And to see the Sixers win it in that fashion, haven't seen that a lot in some of these big moments.
I mean, it is truly one of those games that, man, this team just does not win the past few years. It's so refreshing to see, and just all around, man. Embiid doing his thing when he needs to. Tyrese Maxey just really taking that step up now, I feel like, from star to superstar. He's arrived. I feel like this game, he has truly arrived for those who haven't maybe been paying so much attention. But just some of the little things, too, man. Like, the defense that Kyle Lowry played at the end of the game against Jimmy Butler was just tremendous, and I think that's why you've got to keep starting him throughout the playoffs. I mean, he has just been such a good addition for this team for nothing. For nothing. They just shined him off the streets because Miami didn't want him. Well, you know what? He comes in and helps beat Miami now. And Oubre stepping up, just all around, such an impressive performance. And this team, man, I'm telling you, they still have some playoff demons they got to get over, but up to this point, these past couple games, if Embiid can keep getting better, it's looking real good.
I do not want to see Tobias Harris back in that starting five. I don't care how much money he's making. With the way the Sixers started that game against Miami, how they finished it, I don't need Tobias Harris in that starting five. Your one-word reaction to that Sixers big win in Miami, and if you're excited about that dub, I need everybody right now to hit that thumbs up icon and like the video because that was terrific to watch. I watched every single second of that basketball game. Coming up next, predicting the Eastern Conference standings. There are a couple of teams that the Sixers are jockeying with in the NBA playoffs. Stay tuned for that. First, today's show, sponsored by Factor Meals. Eating better is easy with Factor's delicious, ready-to-eat meals. Every fresh, never frozen meal is chef-crafted, dietitian approved, ready to go in just 2 minutes. You'll have over 35 different options to choose from every week, including Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and Keto. Also, there are more than 60 add-ons to help you stay fueled up and feeling good all day long. What are you waiting for? Get started today and get after your goals. These 2-minute meals, you fuel up fast with the restaurant quality meals that Factor has to offer. You heat them up and you eat them wherever you are and whenever you can. Pancakes, smoothies, and more. Smoothies, really, really good. I've had those a couple of times, and I always like that little fruit in me to start my day. Also, what's great about Factor, no prep, no mess meals. Factor's meals ready to heat and eat. There's no prepping, cooking, and cleanup needed. Here's the best part about this. Factormeals.com/SixersChat50, 50% off Pick your pre-made meals. They're prepped and cooked to perfection. Dietitian approved, chef crafted. You heat them up, you enjoy them. You save time, you save money, and you'll enjoy some good food. Now let's predict the Sixers' remaining games and then the potential Eastern Conference standings here. And here is where we sit today on this Friday, April 5th. Philadelphia with a couple of big games coming up this weekend. You look at the NBA playoff picture in the East, Celtics, Bucks, Cavs, Magic. Knicks got a big win on Thursday night. Indiana Pacers. Philadelphia now a game behind Indiana and just a half game back of Miami. That's why that game was so huge. And then we're definitely going to see the Chicago Bulls and Atlanta Hawks duke it out there for that 9-10 game in the play-in tournament. The Sixers' remaining schedule, a back-to-back this weekend. What's the schedule going to look like for Joel Embiid? We'll certainly see on Saturday and Sunday night. Grizzlies, Spurs, whether Embiid plays or not, you got to win both, and you should win both. And you know what? I'm going to go as far as to say the Sixers will win both. Then you have Pistons, Magic, Nets. You finish the year 3 games at home. It's a good scenario and situation to be in. Prediction time. Yeah, baby! All dubs for the Sixers. Dub, 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 dub. That's how the Sixers finish out the season. And to my count, they've now won against OKC, Miami. They won on Sunday as well. That would be, I think, 8 straight wins to round out the regular season for Philadelphia. I failed elementary algebra at Temple University, so bear with me. This would put the Sixers at 47-35. When Embiid's been healthy, they've been a shoo-in to win 50-plus games. For him to be out for 2 months and for them to nearly get 50 wins, that's what good coaching does. Pacers' schedule, a lot more difficult than Philadelphia's here. The Thunder got dump trucked by the Boston Celtics on the back end of that back-to-back. They lost the first end of that back-to-back to Philadelphia. They're in need of a win here on Friday night. Hopefully the Thunder can hand the Pacers an L. Heat going to be fighting for a playoff spot and playoff positioning. At Raptors, at Cavs playoff team, and then against the Hawks, they're really trying to matriculate up the standings for that 9-10 game. Prediction time for Indiana. Loss against the Thunder, wins against the Heat and Raptors, loss against the Cavs, win against the Hawks. Pacers here would finish 46-36. They do own the tiebreaker over Philadelphia, but we had the Sixers slotted to win 47 games. Wouldn't matter. Heat schedule. At Rockets, at Pacers, at Hawks, Mavericks, Raptors. So a couple of games there against the Raptors. Mavs are a good team. Pacers, obviously looking for some victories here. Rockets have been hot. Hawks, we already talked about them fighting for their playoff lives. Prediction time here. Let's go win, loss, win. Loss, win, win. Chase, what is Miami's record with that ending of the season? The Heat here would finish 46-36. So Philadelphia in that instance, yeah, baby, 6th seed in the East, first round matchup against Orlando. That young Orlando team, they'll be quaking in their boots when they have to enter the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia. That right there smells like a win for the Sixers in the first round. And then we'll see what happens, obviously, in that second round. And then the play-in would be Pacers, Heat. Both of those teams could be a threat to Boston and Milwaukee. I'm just saying, if this is the year when the Sixers can end that curse, this is the year. In this scenario, first round matchup against Orlando. They're a good team. Paolo Banchero, Franz Wagner, Jalen Suggs. Like, they have a lot of good pieces there. Very solid young team, but it's a young team and their time is not now. And I get it. Surprise squad, great year, 3 seed. The atmosphere in Orlando is going to be a joke. The atmosphere in South Philadelphia is going to be jumping because fans are feeling like us, right? And me and producer Chip and you watching. They're smelling it. They're feeling it. So where will the Sixers finish in the standings here? Let us know down in the comments section. Sound off with what you think. Whew, this feels good. And hopefully the Sixers don't disappoint us. But if they do, we're already used to it.